As I walked through the streets and buildings of my mother's village, it occurred to me that so many people do not know the beauty in which Malta possesses due to the small number of those who even know this island exists. It is so often forgotten to be talked about in history lessons of the world wars or geographical lessons of Europe that unless one was actively seeking knowledge in regards to the Mediterranean, or they happen to know someone from there, or something along those lines, they would probably never know it existed, which of course is a shame. Malta is an island of beauty, a historical place between the rest of Europe and Africa that has seen wars, times of peace, and many religious events. The streets, they are busy, narrow, and as expected, full of some of the craziest drivers. While driving on them, however, if you should be lucky enough to find yourself in the passenger seat, one can see how run down and old the villages are and sense the different atmosphere. In such ancient and run-down places, one can find beauty. The churches in the island are both numerous as well as breathtaking. Even if one is not overly religious or practices another faith, they cannot deny the beauty these churches possess. They are architecturally beautiful, full of marble, and remarkable crafting. This church in particular, St. Helens of Birkirkara, is one of Malta's largest and richest churches, dating back to its creation in 1745. Within it, you may find frescoes painted throughout the past 268 years, delicate woodwork, and gorgeous statues. Most iconic of the church, or any church in Malta for that matter, are the church bells that can be heard throughout the entire village. Similarly beautiful is the Church of the Blessed Virgin of Tapinu, a church consecrated in 1932 on Malta's sister island Gozo, which is just a short ferry boat ride away. This church in particular attracts numerous tourists since it possesses a beauty which many of the churches on Malta do not, due to the drastic difference in time of construction and from its gorgeous location, since unlike many of the other churches, it is not congested. Equally beautiful and ancient is Malta's capital city, Valletta, which contains some of the most beautiful views of Malta, especially from the Baracca Gardens, which has a view of another side of the island and the harbor where many cruise ships come to dock. Valletta, however, is forever changing. It might just be the view of an outside perspective or the view of a history major, but it's sad to see the walls of the city being torn down and buildings dating back as far as the 16th century removed to make room for the new. And of course, it's really saddening. While Malta can be praised for accepting and promoting change within an island so old, it is sad to see such historically beautiful buildings removed to make room for banks and legislative buildings amongst other buildings. It is on one hand understandable, since Malta is only 316 kilometers squared and is limited on space, but on the other, I wish there were many other options. Despite this, however, one cannot ignore the beauty that Malta possesses as a whole, even if it starts to gradually change. What I found most gorgeous and most beautiful while visiting family in Malta are the sunsets. In Malta, unlike many places, the roofs are flat and are often used as areas for entertainment. I, however, found them most useful for looking at the sunsets. Since the houses of my family are on top of a hill, I could easily see far across the village. Overlooking the village, I cannot begin to describe the immense pride I felt knowing that my family comes from Malta, whether it's new, old, changing, or constant.